Trouble. What they call you, ma?
They call me Mimi.
Cute name. Fitting too. Me, ChiTown. Don't forget it.
Gotta handle mine.
Chapter 3. Back home with the best. Mimi's lungs burnt as she ran. Buttafly screamed echoed somewhere behind her. The Miami humidity was sticking to her throat like syrup. The Tahoe wheel streaked. The engine growled. But the adrenaline made miracles. And that night, Mimi saw one. A taxi had been sitting at the corner. The engine was running. The driver half asleep. Radio low. Mimi yanked the door. Go now, right? The driver jumped. He like, what? You know what I'm saying? But he jumped and he hit the gas. As they shot forward, Mimi saw Buttafly running in the other direction, barefoot, clutching a money bag close to her chest. So she screamed out the window, Chanel, Chanel, come here, come here. Buttafly ran like her soul was on fire, dove into the taxi while it was still rolling, and collapsed across the street, across the seat. They didn't stop screaming until they was like 10 blocks away. Miami was not the place no more. It was time for them to go home. Now, they had about $42,000 between them, you know what I'm saying? And that was enough to pay Jeffrey Bernstein's retainer, and it was enough to get ChiTown out of jail. But it wasn't enough for them to really, you know, hit ChiTown hand, have them a couple of dollars, you know what I'm saying? So they had already said they was trying to get that 50, you know what I mean? So, man, they had to make some decisions. So what they did was, they grabbed a rental, threw their heels and stacks in the trunk, and hit I-95 straight up on the map, right? So Atlanta was the next stop. The city of lights, beauty, money, rappers, hustlers, men who paid good money for out-of-town beauty. You know what I mean? So that's what they did. Baby, they couldn't even calm down till they got to across that border to Georgia. Them hearts was beating. Girl, we almost got smoked in Miami, Buttafly said. Mimi was like, shoot, almost don't count. We made it. So here they go. Magic City hit different. From the moment Mimi stepped on the stage and Buttafly said behind her, Atlanta opened its arms. Rappers, athletes, street kings, they all flocked to out-of-town beauties who moved with temptation and dipped in honey. You know what I'm talking about? The clubs treated them like royalty. Magic City, hands full of cash. Gentlemen's Club, VIP request, the body tap, private dance offers all night. They turned that stage into electricity, sensual, bold, teasing, confident, nothing explicit, you know what I'm saying? Because they ain't have to, you know what I mean? It was just two beautiful women using rhythm and chemistry to make men lose control of their wallets. By the time that weekend ended, baby, they had stacked over $20,000 clean Atlanta money. So now they was up 60 bands. Girl, we rich. Buttafly laughed, you know what I'm saying? Mimi like, not yet, but we close. Back to the shack. They flew home on a Wednesday morning, tired but glowing, with designer bags and secret smiles. Chicago air hit colder and heavier, but home was home, you know. The first stop was Cook County Bond Court. When ChiTown worked out them doors with that little plastic bag from the county with his belongings and a half a grin on his face, both girls melted into him, one on each arm. You did all this, he said, for you, for me, he like, not for us. You know what I'm saying? So they pressed $10,000 in his hands right there on Sacramento and 25th, the wind whipping in their hair. It was enough to make a grown man feel blessed. You did. Madison and Washington, new beginnings. The three of them moved out of ChiTown's sister basement apartment and straight into an apartment on Madison, on Washington and Menard. Hood famous, busy, loud, and full of opportunity. Life began to smooth out like a fresh silk press. Mimi and Buttafly danced at Ernie's and Harvey, where the tips was consistent and the tricks came heavy. ChiTown eased back into business on the west side. None flashy, none reckless. Bills was paid. The fridge stayed full. They stayed warm. It felt like the building of an empire from scratch. So here come Real, the brother in the shadows. So Real Jones was no friend. He was family. Tall like ChiTown, handsome in that effortless way. Waves tight, skin deep brown, athletic build with bow legs and a walk so confident it almost had sound effects, baby. Everybody loved Real. He was ChiTown's left hand, right hand, and back shield all in one. They hustled together, laughed together, survived teenage years together, and they never questioned each other's loyalty. But something has shifted. Something has shifted. With ChiTown coming into his glow with the two chicks, Real was kind of feeling a little jealous, maybe envious. You know, it was a little feeling. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't hate. It wasn't malice. You know, it was envy. Not because he didn't love his brother, but he just wanted a taste of that life too. He wanted women to move for him like that. He wanted money that came home without fear. He wanted to feel like a king too. So he wanted a stable. So as the days passed, the look in his eyes said he wanted it more sooner than later. The welcome home, they planned. So 3 nights after ChiTown got settled in, Mimi and Buttafly gave him a welcome home that he would never forget. They dimmed the lights in the bedroom to a soft amber glow, candles flickering like they was dancing along the walls. They had the slow R&B track going, you know, setting the mood. Mimi sat in the bed, soft brown thighs glistening from that baby oil she had just put on, lips slightly parted. Buttafly stood behind her, shifting her fingers across Mimi's shoulders. Her dark eyes were looking at ChiTown with some promise, baby. When ChiTown walked in, the world slowed. 2 beautiful women waiting for him, wanting him, choosing him. They moved towards him in perfect rhythm. Body soft, hands exploring gently, breath warm against his skin. Clothes fell away in a slow teasing way. Their touch was sensual, patient, deliberate, describing desire without ever having to speak it. Mimi's lips traced the line of his jaw. Buttafly hands slid down his arms. Their bodies molded against him like they had just been sculpted for that exact moment. Heat swirled. The room glowed. The night stretched long and sweet. When it was over, ChiTown lay in the middle of them, their bodies tangled, hearts steady, and a future growing with promise. Life was good. Maybe too good. Tension started rising. One morning while ChiTown was counting money at the table, Real leaned against the corner watching him, slowly chewing on a toothpick. So he said, "You living good, boy. Real good." ChiTown looked up and smirked like, "Nigga, we all eating." You know, Real nodded, but his eyes stayed closed on the bedroom, like he's focusing on the bedroom door where Mimi and Buttafly was at. So he asked ChiTown, "You ever think about expanding? You know, adding more girls, building something bigger?" ChiTown laughed like, "Nah, man, I'm straight. I got everything I need." But real, you know, his jaw tightened a little bit because he wanted some more. You know what I'm saying? And Mimi and Buttafly, shoot, maybe they wanted some more too. So, Shy, you know, Mimi said later that night, we could really build something. More girls, more money, and bigger moves. But ChiTown wasn't ready. He liked his life nice, simple, quiet, and a situation that, you know, he could control. But unfortunately, ambition and envy don't wait for permission. And the tension building in that apartment on Menard in Washington was the kind that always explodes. End of chapter 3. Thank you.